Welcome to the SNR Podcast, where freedom for the mind, body, and soul takes center stage. We're here to break down the system, expose the truth, and inspire real change. From the state-national movement to uncovering how the government's just a corporation, to diving deep into the Federal Reserve's hold over the world, we're here to give it to you straight. But it's not just about exposing corruption. We're also bringing you the tools to heal with meditation, breath work, and natural healing practices that help elevate your life. We're loud, we're edgy, and yeah, we're funny as hell. Steve's got jokes, Kenny's got the research, and Ashley's keeping us organized, while Gwen's here to inspire both the young and the wise. This is the SNR Podcast.
Friday night, Eastern Time, 7:13, not 7:15, episode 10 of the SNR Podcast. I'm your host, Steve, with who?
I don't know. Who's here? Anybody?
The sexiest beard on this podcast. It's the only
terrible
beard on this podcast. All right, listen, I want to start tonight by first apologizing for my absence, or the podcast absence, for the last 2 weeks. My wife, who's in IT consulting, has been on a go live event. She's been working. Last week, she clocked in 8 days, 129 hours. Yesterday, dude, I this fucking girl, I feel so bad. And now we share the office, so it's very hard for me to kind of come in here and record, do my thing while she's working. Yesterday, she logged in at 6:45 in the morning and logged off at 10:45 at night. And she doesn't take breaks. She doesn't take a lunch. She'll just periodically go out there and snack on things.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be, so she's got this weird schedule for the last 2 weeks, and it's going to continue right through the end of the month until their support is over. The only reason I'm able to record tonight and she's not here is her director forced her. I don't know if she locked her out of the computer, but she forced her to take an early day today because she's taken no time off. So she went with her sister to go get a manicure and a pedicure. So I got the house to myself.
She needs it, dude. That's so much work, bro.
And it's one thing like what you do. Like if you guys work for yourself, it's different, you know, but when you're working for a corporation like this, like she works her fucking ass off. So kudos to my wife, honey. I love you. I appreciate you. But to all the fans, the members, the listeners, the viewers, I apologize for the absence.
Yeah.
Couldn't be helped. But we're back like herpes. We're here to hit you again.
That was a good one. Fucked up, but it was good. It was good.
So what I want to do tonight, what I did for episode 10, we're going to just finish up with the last couple of pieces of paperwork to go through the process, which, by the way, Kenny, you know this because I keep in touch with you multiple times a day. You're like my work husband. The fact that we're breaking down the paperwork and going through the steps and doing all this shit, I get countless texts, emails, this and that. People love the fact that we're sharing this information because this is exactly the information that nobody else is willing to talk about. You got to buy, pay, get scanned. And you know, I'm not going to name names, but you're working with an active member right now who's been taken for a fucking financial ride by other gurus in this industry. So, you know, I want to say Kenny has done something that was unexpected, and what you did for this gentleman, what you continue to do for him, I've spent a lot of time with him, but you created a specific document for him in his legal fight. So I got to give you a huge shout out and kudos because this is a stranger in a strange land. You know, I kind of took the lead on this guy coming on board, but my expertise and experience could only take me so far. So Kenny, you were nice enough to take the reins on this, and I feel bad. He's in a tough spot, but I also
but they didn't help him, dude. And you know what's fucked up? After he paid one dude that paid one guy 25 G's, and the guy is just it's really fucked up, to be honest. But that just seems like a common denominator amongst people that they get big enough, they start just ridiculously charging people. And our goal was always to make it to where anybody could do it, and we wanted you to be able to educate yourself. So we're not going to do it for you, but we have the best tools and instructions you could ever get, and these assholes ain't going to tell you. I'll tell you that right now, because that guy, his thing that he does for you, we put it up for free. So go get that. Well, it's not free. I think it's like $17. It's almost free, but it's a tax petition clarification. So, no, but what I did for that guy is when you were telling me about his stuff, I went ahead and realized like a lot of people, they're missing the explanation of what the status is and how it connects to you. And so that's what I wanted.
Some people call an explanatory statement.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for his, anybody could download it. That's a state national. You could go on there. You could get this one's a free download, and it tells you how is it the status of a state national actually connected to someone, like legally. How the hell is it connected? Like, explain that. And that's what I did, and I showed everything about it so that people don't have to be confused. And it's also became like a little tool so people can educate people. But I did make it for him, but what ends up happening, this is what always happens, Steve. Every time someone like needs something like that, it works out for the collective's benefit, because when we're done creating it, everybody gets it. So we put that out there so that anybody could, articulate, hey, this is my status. This is how it's connected to me. It's a real affidavit. If someone has a problem and you're not sure exactly how to explain it, because maybe you bought some paperwork from somebody who's not that nice either and didn't learn it yourself, but you could what we do, a lot of people will be like, well, Kenny, yes, you have it too. We only do people's first step. That's it. So everybody out there knows we only offer the first step completed for you as a running start for people. So you can see it in your hand. Oh, this is what it looks like. And then you go to the memberships and you can complete all the rest. And one guy was asking me, about marriage stuff. And I was like, bro, all the marriage stuff, the marriage certificate, everything you need, the affidavit, how to record it and, be legally recognized without being in the system. The paperwork's there on the memberships. We put everything on the memberships as much as we could, so people literally could do everything, and your only cost is mainly your time. Educate yourself. That's how you restore the republic. We're not going to restore the republic selling paperwork $1,000 or $25,000 at a time. That's just some other dickhead. That's sorry to say it like that. That's just some other.
The guy
asshole
is a dickhead. You're a scumbag.
Just pretending.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm the government now. What the fuck? You're the government now? I mean, you're charging like you're the government now, and that's not the goal. The goal is to further our mission so that we can spread it. And we obviously couldn't give up our life and our time and our business and do nothing. So we put minimal cost to be able to continue our work, where other people are like, pay me $25,000. Give me 10% of your income and I'll help you. I was like, this dude charges people 10%.
Kenny,
Lord,
fucking money. This one individual we're talking about. And when he listens to the podcast, he'll know that we're talking about him, but we're not going to say, divulge any information, but the amount of money this poor man has paid over the past several years.
And then got cut off. I can't help you no more was the end result.
Yeah. And again, the other issue here is, and this is not his fault. He didn't know. This is just the way this information was presented to him. He put the cart before the horse, so to speak. Like, he did everything backwards. And now you're starting to see. So it's been a small mountain to climb. Kenny, I are really trying to help him. I hope that we can. But you really start to see the value and the importance of the sequence of the steps of the process and why you do things through legal affidavits. Because,
definitely, dude.
Well, and the first thing I noticed is that, they sent in a bunch of well-written letters.
Yeah,
showing
letters don't mean
the IRS
shit.
how much you know. And there's a reason the IRS is ignoring them, because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's not a legal affidavit. So
yeah, it doesn't matter at all. You know what else is pretty wild? This is something that I got this from Steve.
Crabs?
So, crabs. So I got crabs from Steve, everybody. It's terrible.
My bad.
So what happened was, through the revocation of election, I see a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people on social media, and, it wasn't something that we were necessarily doing. Steve was the one that was like, look, let me show you what we got. Let me show you how I did it. And whenever Steve showed it to me and I read everything, I was like, bro, this is real, but it's for someone who's claimed their nationality. And this is actually perfect for us. And I knew how everything worked. So now I could explain it, because I never see no one explain this. And Steve could verify this. Like, where he works at, he works for a big hospital, and they have him labeled as a non-resident alien. So this is how it works. As a non-resident alien, you can volunteer your federal income tax. You can. But you can also remove it. So the revocation of election is literally just for non-resident aliens. So a lot of people miss, and they're like, well, how would an American state national be considered a non-resident alien? And it's very simple. Since 1871, the parent corporation, which is in Washington, D.C., created subsidiary corporations all over the country called the state of Texas, the state of Colorado, and then you have the city of San Antonio, all these incorporated subsidiaries of the parent. When you're standing in the state of Texas, the corporate version, you're essentially standing in the parent corporation in Washington, D.C. Now, that is how they get the U.S. citizen. And nobody really gets that. They're like, I don't get it. How am I in Washington, D.C.? It's because you're in the subsidiary and you're falling underneath the same system, the same privileges. And that's essentially how it works. When you claim your nationality, you're claiming the actual republic. Now, that shit is foreign to the corporation. So you'll have the state of Texas corporation, subsidiary of Washington, D.C., parent corporation, and then you have the republic on the other side. Now, the republic exists because obviously the fucking land is there. That's what the republic is. Now, it has like a paper overlay, and that's the corporate version that's been, created as a subsidiary of Washington, D.C. So what we've done is we've essentially claimed our nationality because the nationalities are recognized in the government. They're the ones who put it out there. And they also they made sure to let you know, we do not recognize American as a nationality, only U.S. citizens. And by definition, U.S. citizens is a business. So that's the difference. So if you're just a citizen, you're like, I did the ROE. It don't mean shit. I just want you to know that. They lied to you because the only way that you can do a ROE and have some standing is if you are a foreign national, aka claimed your nationality. You not only that, so the second double-edged sword to this is whenever people do this step, you have to understand the government's poisoning us. They admit to it. They don't give a shit. They just put it on the Freedom of Information Act. Hey, sorry, in San Francisco, we sprayed you with some bacteria. And I don't know if you noticed, bro, they've been testing the air for the fog shit they're doing. It's the same
microplastics.
It's some same bacteria. It's the same one that they admitted to spraying in San Francisco to see how it would spread. So what we do, guys, is we say, look, you admitted through the Freedom of Information Act that you poisoned us here. You admitted that you did this to Tuskegee experiments. You admitted you did this, and we don't agree. So that's how you remove your consent from the corruption legally, because now you're stating, hey, I don't agree to that shit. And then you get a certified document and attach it to your passport. Now you have proof that you're a foreign national or a non-resident alien. Now, from that point on, then do your ROE. And now you have evidence, you have intelligence, you got your files, you got your shit ready, and now you have the ability to do it. So a lot of people doing the ROE, you're missing the most important part. And you have to claim your nationality. And what's so bad about that? Everybody's like, oh, I don't want to claim my nationality. For what? Why not? Why don't you want to claim your nationality? Well, they say we're sovereign citizens. Well, maybe you should stop listening to people and think for your fucking self. How about that?
Well, this is the other problem. And this is the individual we were referencing in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
He took advice from multiple different people, got pulled in multiple different directions, and now he's
poor guy.
Ice skating uphill. He's in a horrible situation. But regardless, I think we've laid out a pretty solid plan for him in terms of best case scenario, worst case scenario, and the inevitable, nuclear fallout if it gets to that point. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
I hooked him up with the best person to help him, and I was like, well, if you're gonna pay someone something, these are the guys to pay. And Correct. If anyone can get you off, it's this guy right here. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, this dude's the dude. Like, you want to know the dude? Here he is, bro. And so hopefully he got in touch with them. I got him his contact information. And I what else did I do? I did something else for him too. I
spoke to him the day after. He was head over heels about people.
Yeah, when you can convert what you're doing into a PMA, people kind of freak out whenever I send them the example. Like, this is how you do it, because nobody really realizes that people think only Kenneth Copeland gets to go around and play fake minister and do all this bullshit. And that's not true. Like, the average everyday anybody who believes in God could do that. So that's the difference. And we realized, oh my gosh, we have rights acting, believing in God, acting in this capacity. And if we just exercise it in this certain format and structure it this certain way and say these certain things, there's nothing they can do about it. Literally nothing. The most protected activity in America is religious protection. So I send people the example. I just had a young kid. He's really cool, really nice guy, one of our members. And he does PDR, the paintless dent repair, whenever they have like hailstorms and shit. And so he was like, because everybody's so curious. My sister too. She's like, my sister makes a ton of money and they pay a ton of taxes, but their father-in-law got hit hard by the IRS, so they're like terrified. So I always think it's funny. People are like, I'm so patriotic. You're not patriotic. You're following the man to the T. I was like, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. There's nothing patriotic about falling in line with tyranny. Like, I don't know where that fits in as patriotic, but whatever. You could fit however you want to feel good about yourself. But the truth is, when you see tyranny, it is our duty to rebel against it. We are not supposed to fund that shit and participate in that. And so when I realized like that we do have a right, like if you see tyranny, you literally are not legally, morally, and you actually legally can, you don't have to support that shit. It's just like your choice. So like over time of learning this stuff, we realized like, man, we could exercise our rights believing in God and not fund the corruption no more. And so people always ask me, well, how do I structure that? So the PDR guy was like, send me the example. I told him, I'm going to send you the example. You're going to shit your pants. And so I write it all out and I send it to him. And I what I do is I find Bible verses to fit. Like for the CPA guy, his Bible verses had to do with a good steward of God doesn't leave his children, but leaves his children's money. Like you're leaving a legacy for your family. Yeah. So I incorporate that into their belief system and show like whatever you're offering to the public, CPA services, etc. We're gonna combine that with the belief in God, and we're gonna write your about us as being a spiritual mission like that. And that's how we do it. And we do it for anything. I mean, the PDR dude was like, bro, I think you made my eyes water. I think he said it was his wife. He's like, you made my eyes water with that because we have this opportunity. The way our documents are written here in America, that our rights come from God, but only if you know it and you do it. If you don't, then guess what? They don't. That's just how it works. But if you know it and you do, then they do, and that's how simple things are. But the government, it literally operates under a really sneaky tactic called governed by consent. And that's where we all are getting screwed. Like, that's the trick. That's the hustle. If everybody knew their constitutional rights, like as we are right now, people would not stand for what's happening. They would be in a fit. But the problem is nobody knows. Nobody knows. And the mass majority is overworked. And then the other mass majority is too busy watching TV. So they're indoctrinated a little bit. A bit. And
here's the thing. If you're the type of person that just sits down and buries yourself in TV, video games, whatever it is, it's gotten to the point where this treason, this fraud, this mindset of consent, without informed consent. Without informed consent, it's right in the television shows now, the movies, the music, it's in everything. I mean, I don't know how you haven't seen the shift. Every show, every movie, everything is a political agenda. I don't know how you can't see it. You have to be willfully ignorant. Like there is everything now is black men, white women, which I don't give a shit, but it's just like they've wiped white people out of commercials, out of movies. The fucking head of Marvel Studios, and I'm a big comic book movie guy. I love the action movies. This fucking guy specifically said, I didn't want to do a Doctor Strange movie a certain way because I didn't want a white male being the hero.
What does it matter?
What the fuck is the difference? This is the comic book character for 50 years. Like, if I had come out and said, I don't want a black male saving a white woman, I'd be canceled, sued. They'd be burning shit in my fucking yard. Like, the point I'm trying to make is the brainwashing and the acceptance of this evil and tyranny is so powerful and so overwhelming. It's when you and I have these conversations with other people who aren't necessarily in the know, so to speak, or they haven't awoken, or their pineal gland hasn't been cleansed yet. All of what we're saying sounds like complete gibberish. Like we're so far out in right field somewhere, they can't even comprehend the fact that we are being true to ourselves, to our creator, and we are 100% supportive of restoring the republic and giving us the government we were meant to have, not this abomination that they've perverted it into. So, and I'm going to tell you something else. Another question I get all the time, and especially after the election, I get this a lot. Oh, now that Trump is a president, Do you think will you go back to being a citizen? I go, abso-fucking-lutely not. Why? I go, do me a favor. Go in Cornell. Go in any Black's Law Dictionary. Look up the word citizen. You tell me if that's what you want to be. I'm like, go do that, and then tell me if why would I want to be a citizen?
Yeah,
it's just and there are, and you know this. There's multiple designations you could be. You could be a citizen. You could be a state national. If I remember correctly, there's like 5 or 6 different designations or titles you can choose from. You don't have to be a citizen. They box you into that corner right after you gave birth. You're probably on fucking drugs. You're in a rush. You just had a baby. So they're like, oh, they shove this shit in front of you. Here, get the baby's footprints, sign this, blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden you're locked in a fucking contract for life. So no, I will never go back to being a citizen. I'll even go so far as to say, if Trump does something significant in terms of like a financial windfall, I'm just speaking completely hypothetically here, and I don't get it because I'm not a citizen, so fucking be it. It is what it is. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'd rather have my dignity and my morals and my values than a couple of bucks to be trapped. Steve,
there is a girl. Here she is. I'm going to pull her up and give her a big shout out.
I feel like I'm yelling. Hold on a
minute. You are. No, you're not. No, this is just to a mother and a patriot who has courage and the balls to stand up more than most men. I made a post on my Facebook to tell people all these men are pussies nowadays for some weird reason. Maybe it's what's in the water. I don't know.
It's easy. Skinny jeans and estrogen.
It's pretty like, simple. I think we're under heavy attack from, the water, the chemtrails, the indoctrination, the pharmaceuticals, the jabberinos. But this girl right here, if anybody's going to have a baby and you're like, you know what, I don't want to get my baby in the system. One of my buddies used her and had great success, was able to get their baby a passport without having a birth certificate. So I'm going to, because we're not like gatekeepers and we don't want to shut people down. But if she's on Instagram, her name is VEDA period REVIVAL, Vita Revival. She will teach you how to have a baby without getting a birth certificate and how to get the passport. She's doing it. So those types of people. I need you to
be a little more specific. When you said she'll teach me how to have a baby, is she
exactly? So she's gonna have. She's a midwife. No,
she's gonna watch me have sex.
No,
Steve, you got to use more hips. You need better leverage.
Yeah, she's a sex coach. Yeah, no, she just helps people that don't want to get their babies into the system, and she just, she seems to be patriotic and doing the right thing. So I like to promote those people. There's another guy I reached out to because I seen him kicking ass and taking names, and I reached out to this one gentleman that helps people with. Not like get yourself out of child support to where you're not supporting your kids, but how to take control of the fraudulent system and get your kids, really. Because I didn't have that. When I was younger, I was terrified of court because of my childhood experiences, and they were not good. They were very bad. So I didn't even want to deal with court. So when I was being dealt with by my ex-wife, who had a lot of money to hire really good powered attorneys to fuck with me, I was kind of scared. I was really scared, actually. And so I didn't always make the right choices because of that fear. And that's kind of how I learned like how fear manipulates us because of my childhood experiences and how like, okay, this is programmed into my mind. How do I overcome it and rewrite these programs so that I'm no longer living in that sort of fear? But if I would have known what I know now, I would have never allowed what happened. I would have had 50-50 because I loved my girls so much. It was really fucking hard when she took them, but it doesn't matter. Time passes on. We all move on. And now ultimately I start to realize and look from people's positions, and I realize like, oh, she's hurt, she's whatever. And then I see why someone does it. So that allows for forgiveness, even though it's very hard for our family. I was able to forgive. But now, knowing what I know, it's really cool. This gentleman is showing people how to get, 50-50. You don't get off. You don't get out of paying. You just get your kids. And I thought, man, this dude's really cool. So I reached out to him, and hopefully I'll, next episode, I'll be able to share him because he seems super legit, dude. Even if we had him on, homeboy is like fucking a beast. And what he does that's so well is he understands how the complaints are filed, and he knows what's wrong with the complaint and what it should look like. So if it's done wrong, he can literally remove all the arrears, and he can do a lot of stuff to where you get back 50-50 of your kid.
Look, and
that's I understand. Special. Kids need their parents. They need both their parents. Just because people are angry, they need both.
in Rhode Island, and I'm sure it's this way across the country. Again, I don't have children, but I got friends who've been in this situation.
You got raccoons. It's the same, bro. They're like
I got a lot of fucking raccoons, and they will not latch. I've tried to breastfeed them vigorously; they won't latch. So
I don't know what's wrong with them.
Maybe I'll smear honey on my chest tonight. Anyway, that's a podcast for another day. But the court tends to favor with women in terms of custody for the most part here, which to me is detrimental to the child's development. And if statistics have shown anything, it's that you need both parents involved in raising a child. Yeah. Now, it's one thing if there's a deadbeat parent that don't want to be involved. That's a different story. But to go so far as to handicap somebody financially, in Rhode Island, they'll revoke your license. Like, so the guy
everywhere,
so
they do that shit everywhere. It's illegal, but they do it anyways.
But so you take my ability to drive to my place of employment. So what the fuck do you want me to do? Yeah. This is why, man, I'm sorry. We need an entire, and I hope Trump addresses this. We need a fucking massive overhaul of the justice system in this country. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. They've let criminals run free, people who belong in jail. Look, I got a very close friend of mine I grew up with since 5th grade. I'm not going to say his name, but any one of my friends, you all know who I'm talking about.
Say it. I'm just kidding.
Fuck up, Ryan Byrne. This fucking kid has been arrested 20 times, been in 4 or 5 head-on car collisions because he's high on fucking pills, drove through a telephone fucking pole. He's been in a coma for 6 weeks.
It's terrible.
He gets out of fucking jail. And literally that day steals his father's car, goes and gets high, and totals his dad's car.
Sick.
That guy, people like that cannot function in society. Those are the people that belong in jail. Anyone in jail for weed, let them the fuck out. Let them out. They have an entrepreneurial spirit. You should be giving them money to open up something.
Yeah.
But there are people who cannot function in society. This guy is one of them. Now, that being said, the courts need to be much more
way
lenient.
Out of topic.
Oh yeah, listen.
We need that button like da.
Like if there was a left field, we went into left field like 3 stadiums down the street. Like we're just way the fuck up in left field.
Yeah,
it's good. We haven't talked in a while,
Steve. Yeah,
we haven't talked in a while.
Blame it on that. Overdue. That's a good excuse. I would use it.
I know you and I talk all the time. It's different. I get to see you now. So it's like I'm kind of aroused, but I'm more excited. It's like there's a lot of different feelings going on right now.
Those jokes are always... There was a guy at my friend's shop that was gone a long period of his life. And so they have a name for those jokes. They call them come-on jokes. And they would do that in adult places that he was stuck in for very long periods of time. And I know you're just fucking around. This dude would be serious. And I had to tell him, like, bro, we will fucking fight. You better shut the fuck up. Not you, because you're like literally playing. This dude would be serious about it.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him, like, dude, what is wrong with you? Dude, we're not sitting in lockup somewhere, bro. Like, you're going to get it. And I was always like, my friend, he would always be like, put the gloves on. And he would always try to get me to, like, one time he got me to box his, because my friend owns a big body shop. And he's my childhood friend, like my closest friend we grew up to. I was like his best man, ruthless. He was like, you know what? And there's this tall guy that worked for him. He's like, box him. I was like, are you sure? Because we grew up fist fighting, all of us. And so, our generation is just built different.
Yeah, it's only gay if you text me afterwards and if you maintain eye contact. Other than that, we're fine.
You have a pretty good sense of humor. It's just,
I do.
Yeah.
Listen, do you think this face... You think this face is getting me laid? I got a sense of humor and a semi-decent bank account. Other than that, I'm not meeting chicks. So
that's funny. Oh man, we are off topic. Son of a gun. I'm thinking about it. I was like, man, where did we go? Okay, how do we get back on topic? Does anybody have any ideas?
I'm gonna cut the wheel and get us out of the ditch. You ready?
Okay, go.
Okay. So, now that the soft opening is concluded. Okay. So Kenny, so for episode 10, I wanted to wrap up the paperwork.
Okay.
All right.
Paperwork. I could do that. I know that stuff.
So give us a quick summary of what the property sale agreement is and the property bill of sale.
Well, it's for your trust. So whenever it comes to trust, you can do legal sales without having to transfer the title. So that's like a way to sell your assets to the trust without actually transferring the title, because some people don't want to transfer the title or need to, because that creates a taxable event. So whenever you do it like that, you follow the instructions, you notarize them, and you save them with your records. And now it's considered a legal sale. So like, let's say someone out there maybe didn't have the best, experience with the IRS. And so they didn't always make the best choices. Maybe they had bad advice, whatever the incidence is. And the IRS is like, I'm going to seize your car. Yeah, I'm going to seize that shit in 30 days. I'll see you over there. And then, the time comes, you go to court, you take in your trust, you say, because any private trust, they're not allowed to show it in public. So you have to go, it's called in chamber, and you go show the judge in his office. And once you show the judge, hey, look, it's notarized back to this date, way before there was ever an action taken towards this vehicle from the IRS or automobile, however you want to do it. That proves that they don't have any right to access it, even though it's still in your name. As long as your paperwork is documented right, and you just take it into court, and it's basically doing a legal sale in all 50 states. Actually, there's one for the house too. You can do it for your house, even if it's not paid off. That was my
next question. Yeah, because it goes in order: the car and then the home. Yeah.
So the home is the quick claim deed. If I don't know if we have it on there, I think we just tell people when they ask, because the home one we just have like a basic one, but the proper one to use, guys, is very simple. It's called like quitting your job. Quit, QUIT, claim, like claiming the money, and then deed, quit claim deed,
and they're very cheap. My attorney, I talked to my attorney. I think it's like $150.
Yeah, it's
to do a quick claim deed. It's nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to record it. In some states, you could look up. It might have a requirement in your state, and if that's the case, but most states, you don't even have to record it. In the same thing, you just save it for your records. Because once you publicly record stuff, it's what that means. It's just on the public record. That's all it is. So anybody could look it up. Anybody could see. And that's kind of how, like, whenever people get, like, say you get a ticket or you get a lawsuit and then lawyers start sending you letters and you're like, how the fuck do they know? It's because it's a public record. Like when a lawsuit's filed, and they just have certain search, they like pay these companies to do searches, which, I think I'm going to do it. Because what happened with grandma in her court, doing that 6 different times, having to research for her court case and learn how they cheat on debt, these fuckers. Dude, they cheat on debt so bad, it's ridiculous. But what I was thinking is once we launch the website for how to beat debt collections, and I'm telling you guys, I had no idea that they were cheating so bad on debt collections until I had to do 6 different court dates for, I call her grandma, but she's mother-in-law. And I had to research, write her motions, and do all that. So in the process of just 6 court dates, I figured out the 4 things that they cheat on it's the pieces of the complaint. So whenever someone files a lawsuit, it's called a complaint. And inside the complaint, it has all their supporting documents. Well, 4 of them are the main things. It's like the bill of sale, the affidavit of debt. And then there's one that they like put like photocopies of your account, the ending account. And then what's the last one? I don't know. I don't remember. But either way, all 4, most of them are no good. And you know what's crazy is the judge doesn't care that they file it. They don't care. They're not looking at, oh, hey, this is not right. No, the judge leaves it up to you to notice that something's wrong and to file the right motion to address it. And then the judge, when you're addressing it with the rules, will favor you. But if you don't know shit, they're not going to help you. Never. No, they do not practice law from the bench unless they're cheating. So they don't. So what I was shocked at is all 4 documents were bad. They're all wrong. They all could be removed and essentially had no case against grandma. But it took me 6 times to figure it out. And by the 6th time, the plaintiff, which was the attorney that sued her, they were like, okay, we will agree to a motion to dismiss with prejudice. Yeah, because all your shit got removed. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go back and then we're gonna make the judge rule on it, and then we're gonna sue them for filing a fraudulent lawsuit. And
yes, as you should.
It's gonna be bad. And good. So we're gonna create that. So the first class we wrote how literally start to finish, how to represent yourself in court. Everything, Steve. I'm talking about from the beginning to the end.
Perfect.
And then I wrote every single motion that I filed in order and how to do it. And I wrote how to write your response with your affirmative defenses, and then immediately go into your it's a production. So you get a production of documents, And once they don't produce, I literally show you how to go step by step with all the shit. And it's a 7-day. Anybody could learn this litigation process in 7 days. I wrote it that fast. And,
No shit.
And bro, I couldn't believe how powerful it was that I surprised myself. I was like really, really proud of what I had
You should be. I remember you called me right after court. You were so excited.
Because the lawyer was like, oh my God. And the judge didn't know what to say. And it was really cool because the judge and the lawyer were on a first name basis. Hey, Miss Ash. And I was like, oh, it's just Miss Ash. And so I started calling her Miss Ash. Hey, Miss Ash. And by the end of it, they're like, no, let's get rid of it. And since they agreed, we were just going to let the lawyer agree and let the lawyer dismiss it. But we decided, nah, because we want to sue them for doing that. Because in reality, we were in Hawaii and grandma was missing out on Hawaii time, having to learn all this stupid shit about court, which wasted her vacation. And not only that, you're not supposed to be sued on vacation. It's not legal. But grandma didn't know any of that. Neither did I. So we didn't even attack venue off the top, which we should have. So, of course, I wrote that in there because I was like, fuck, I messed up there. And so I put in there how to check venue. I put in there literally the first step, how to check the complaint. Was it properly served? You can get it dismissed if just certain elements aren't there, right? And that class, I'm telling you guys, you will defeat any third-party debt collector because there's one of those 4 elements that are going to be bad. And once you get it struck from the record, then you can go for a motion to dismiss and backdoor it. And really, guys, what everybody's missing for all this state national shit is litigation. And this simple class will give you the breakdown on litigation. So let's say your HOA sends you something for whatever. Bro, they will never mess with you once you know this stuff. Never. They just won't because they don't have the money to.
Well, think about how scared people get when they get hit with the proposition of a lawsuit or something filed against them or debt collector. Your initial instinct and reaction is fear. You immediately get scatterbrained, and then you just cop and agree to things that you don't have to because you don't know the right course of action. And then when you hire a lawyer, I should say when you hire an attorney, I guess some lawyers could be different, but when you hire an attorney, all they're going to do is go in there and try to cut a deal for you to get it off their plate. They make that 33%. You get a decreased penalty, whatever it may be. Like, they're not going to go in there and fucking fight and scratch and claw like you would for yourself.
No, dude. Well, I'm going to explain one of them, and you're going to be like, holy shit. So there's a rule. So you're not allowed to use hearsay in court, but that only works if you call it out. And hearsay is basically someone else. You have to object. You have to do a motion. There's a lot more to it. So we put the motion in how to get rid of the hearsay. But there's this thing called affidavit of debt. And how it works is, like, let's say it's portfolio recovery, which in Grandma's case it was. So portfolio recovery has someone that works for them. And they sign this affidavit of debt because on a computer screen, they both purchased this debt. And they say, yeah, I verified the debt. I'm able to do so. I work for this company, blah, blah, blah. And so they sign off as the affiant saying that they verified the debt, and it's called the affidavit of debt. It's one of the documents that's in the complaint that's filed against you, right? So it's hearsay because the original documents come from the original creditor. And you didn't work for the original creditor, so you cannot say that these are the legit documents. You cannot validate a third-party document as working for, portfolio recovery. You would have to work for the original creditor to be able to say and to write that affidavit. So that affidavit is stricken from the record because it's fucking hearsay. That's the trick. And that's just one trick. So they're using hearsay affidavits of debt and they're getting it on the record. They're screwing everyone in America and nobody knows that shit's hearsay. It's no good. And all you have to do is file the proper motion, call them out for it. The judge has to because there's rules to protect against hearsay. And when you realize hearsay is anyone who's taking something from someone else and claiming it as their own, acting like, oh, yeah, that's me. You didn't work for the original creditor, so you cannot say that. You work for the secondary. So it's things like that that's in our class that are really hard hitters because I see people about debt collection on TikTok. They don't talk about this. They talk about certain things, but not stuff like that. So I went and beat the technicality shit out of that document until I knew all the fuck ups. And once I found them all, I wrote it, dude, and it's so powerful. We haven't had the time to launch it, but because we're working on so much awesome shit right now, it's like mind blowing, guys. I'm like, sorry for all the bad words. I just can't help myself. You know what they say though? They say that people that say bad words
a person. Yeah,
they say we're
never
more
trust
genuine.
a person that doesn't swear. Yeah.
And yeah, well, one guy was like trying to talk down, saying, people who cuss only have 35 vocabulary words in their brain and all this nonsense. And I'm like, oh, really?
I can call that guy 30. I'll call that motherfucker 35 cuss words in 30 seconds, and then hold a conversation.
Yeah, so that's what we did with the lawsuit. It was over a year long. And I studied it only, like, not the whole year, obviously. I studied every time I had to do something, I would study it. And then I would learn something new. And I'd have these aha moments. And I tried everything. And I refined it down to where, dude, it's unstoppable. Anybody who gets it, I almost want to put a guarantee. Because if you just do it, there's no way they could beat you. It's just, but you could use that knowledge for any litigation, for HOA, whoever. Whatever, you can use it. Once you know how to use that stuff, that's what we're missing to restore the republic. We need people that know how to litigate somewhat.
We have been trained that when you have an issue or there's a complaint or a threat, you hire an attorney. We are not taught the law. They've turned lawyering and into its own profession. That's exactly what it is. I'm sorry. So there's a reason we're scared. It's all a trained reaction and a trained behavior. And I want to point something else out. I want to make a point about what we originally brought up with this, with the bill of sale and the sale agreement for the houses and cars. So I want to give everybody the analogy that they could probably relate to. Kenny, are you familiar with what happened with Tom Brady?
Not really. Only because
it's fine. So Tom Brady literally used his mother as a trust. Here's what I mean. In his divorce with Giselle, she wanted half of his $300 million net worth. And she was instructed by the judge, it's not possible. Tom Brady isn't own anything. He lives at a poverty level. And she says, What are you talking about? I'm paraphrasing here. But Tom Brady, from his very first contract, his homes, his cars, his money, everything is in his mother's name. He essentially used his mother as a trust. So although he was getting divorced, he doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any assets. His mother owns everything. So she couldn't get $150 million of his money and his assets because it's not his. This is the point we're trying to make with the trust. The trust, if you look at it in, like, if I'm Tom Brady, the trust is my Giselle. You know what I mean? Like that's the protection. That's what we're trying to convey to you. So definitely. I just thought I wanted to come up with an analogy that more people could relate to.
Oh yeah. And we actually, because I see so many people out there selling these trusts for 20 grand and then running their mouth about how spectacular we are that stand up for ourselves as they just pretend to save the world $20,000 at a time. Guess what, guys?
Oh my God.
We're building I already created all the documents. We're building a website right now, so people can buy that $20,000 trust for $500. The exact same one. Yeah, the exact same one. And I do that because I'm sick of people screwing everybody, because that's all they do. They're like, I'm a hero. No, you're just like an attorney that didn't get a degree, you big dickhead. And I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling froggy, so I know people are like, Kenny, I thought you were, I am for the people. And I just have a problem with so many people that take advantage. And then they have smart comments about those who stand up and have courage. And then you look in the background and they have some civil peace flag like they're doing something. And it's like a slap to the face to those who really have the courage to stand up. Like I don't know. I don't like it. And so I
don't agree with it.
I just build the whole website and destroy everything they're doing.
No, but what you're
give
doing,
it back to the people.
You have that pay it forward mentality. And again, we've talked about this. This is why you and I get along so well. This is like you, me, Gwen, Ashley. We all jive so well because, and you know this, and I'm not fucking patting myself on the back here, but I spend a lot of time that I don't get compensated for helping people. Pushing people.
I tell you to limit that because you really give a lot of your time, Steve. And
I know, but
it's commendable.
I don't mind. Thank you. But the point I'm trying to make is I do it because I know it's the right thing to do. And I'm sorry. I'm a big believer because I've seen it in my own life. The more I give of myself to help others, the more it comes back to me. I'm not chasing dollars. I don't give a shit.
You're not.
Like, no, I don't fucking care. I'll get repaid by the universe in some way, shape, or form. It's not about the money for me. So no, I think there's a lot of people out there that I do not respect, other gurus in this industry who are making a lot of money off people who were in very horrible situations. And the other thing I want to point out, a lot of people that are seeking out these other professionals are seeking them out because they're already in a bad spot.
In trouble,
So
that's
what
true.
These others are doing, these other gurus, professionals, I fucking call them car salesmen, they're taking more money from you.
From someone who needs it at the time.
Yes, on the false premise that their methodology is going to help dig you out of that hole. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case. The way we structure this, and I'm not just fucking saying this because I'm sitting here. This is what drew me to you guys. This is why I jumped on board with you, is because you've set everything up in a fashion, in a way, in a manner that if trouble ever comes, we're already protected and isolated. We've already boxed ourselves in. So it's almost like, remember the movie 300 when they formed that phalanx with all the shields and nothing could penetrate it? That's what your process gives to us legally. I'm going to even say spiritually, financially, because I'm just going to be fucking straight up here. The amount of money that me and my wife have saved in federal taxes the last couple of years, bro, all we do right now is save money.
Good.
That's all we do is save and bank money. Now, I'm not bragging. I'm using myself as an example. I got to be honest. Like the amount of shit I put on Facebook, and I know you see it. I know you see my good posts, my bad posts. I'm literally blown away by a lot of people that I associate with, guys who grow up with people who just, they're so fucking hesitant. They're all waiting for me to get hemmed up and go to jail. Like I'm not going to jail. It's not going to happen because even if I'm attacked from a legal perspective, I know I have the knowledge, the resources, and the ability to stand on my own rights.
And there's so many things. If people are ever worried about jail with the IRS, go get the tax petition clarification. It destroys the element of intent. And you have to have criminal intent in order to charge someone with crime. So if you do that as a citizen or national, it shows that your intent isn't there. And once you have proof that there's no intent, the case is done. So that's what we do. We attack those single elements and we go after something we can destroy. So if you're anybody out there who did anything like that, IRS, get your tax petition clarification. It's like $17. And remember, homeboy charges 10% of your income to do that. So you can go get it for $17. And
I
the only
can't
reason
believe that.
I know, it's crazy, right?
10%. 10% of your income, folks, is what other people are charging. Or you can go here and get $17.
Think about that. That's crazy. And the only reason
even if you wanted to pay, even if somebody signed up, all right, I'm going to do a little compare and contrast here.
Okay.
You got this other individual, they want 10% of your income to guarantee you get safe from the IRS, which you and I have just spoken to an individual.
It's not true. There's no guarantee. He paid
IRS
25 G's and nothing.
The IRS just took that $25,000 guarantee, looked at it, said, you know what, I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to do nothing but eat nachos and drink draft beer. And then the next day, the IRS wiped their ass with that guarantee for $25,000. So
where's this
is the point
now?
I know. Oh God, I my fucking heart breaks for him. He's such a good guy, but I feel bad. And then he's got this other fucking guy that he goes to church with, charging him thousands of dollars to write these rebuttal letters. Like, bro, the IRS doesn't care how much you know. A court doesn't care what you know. They know what you can prove.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I sent them to the real guy. Like, if you're in that position,
to Bernhoff.
Yeah. Because Bernhoff is the one that could get him off. If anyone could, it's him. He's the only one out there probably that could do it. And people have to realize there's a lot. You know what? Bernhoff actually got in trouble back in the day. I always look up everybody's cases to see what they're about. He got in trouble with the government because he was doing shit like with tax petitions, helping people like do kind of what we're doing. But he started doing it because he just, he's a patriot. And there's a lot of patriotic lawyers and judges that know the system's fucked and they do their best to help everybody, but it's a really hard system because the whole system's against you. And then they indoctrinate the people to be against each other. And it's really difficult. So I commend those people that have figured it out and still really try to fight. And that's really cool. He had to stop doing it. I'm sure they put some sort of like secret injunction against him and where he's like, all right, I won't do it anymore. And they're like, good, because if you do, we're going to bury you. And so I thought that was really cool. that he did that, and I found it in his cases. He's a badass. He's definitely a patriot.
Nah,
That's for sure.
It's a good resource to have, and it's funny because my suspicion is that folks like you and I, who believe and aware of this guy and know what his value is in terms of what he can help us with, he wants to help people in our situation because it only helps. Dude, guys like that are like the headless horseman. It's like a legend, like an urban legend. You know what I mean?
People don't know they're real. They're fucking real. But our lawyer that's suing
your
TikTok,
attorney, your lawyer. I'm sorry, not attorney.
So she makes us do everything where we thumbprint in red, and she's a constitutional lawyer. But we couldn't represent the association. She had to. There was no way. They required a bar card, or else we'd have just tried. We'd have just done it ourselves. But it wasn't possible. So luckily, Maury, she's the one that does all the web maintenance and built the website, and she's been an amazing asset this whole time, just kicking butt and taking names. It was Maury who hooked it up and introduced us to her, and so she's been kicking ass for a long time. So I feel sorry for TikTok, and I know when it comes to the end, because TikTok really gave us a 10-year ban. Like, it is a real fucking ban. I could make a new account with a new phone and I'll get 5 followers in a year. Like, they don't play with me. They're like, you're banned, dude. You are literally temporarily banned for 10 years. And so as really, because of what we are as a 508, Steve, we're a religious organization. That's what we are. And if you go read about us, we followed everything to show that, hey, this is our belief. We believe in the Declaration of Independence, that God created, that our rights are from our Creator and all that. So that's why we teach the shit we teach, right? And everything we show is in line with that. And so now everything we offer on SNR is in line with our God-given beliefs right here and our protections. And so she knows, like, these people know their shit. They're really a religious organization, and we're doing this to stand up for God's creation. And I mean, so many people think they're patriots selling a $20,000 trust. Like, bro, I want to tell you, you're not the patriot, homie.
No,
sorry.
No, you're not.
Sorry.
My God.
It's just the way it is. Like, sorry. Sorry.
You want to know, like, I had this idea, okay? Because I shouldn't say I know. I have this feeling, call it intuition, call it whatever you want. But I so badly want to go down to Florida when I know Trump is at Mar-a-Lago, and I want to request 5 minutes with him and tell him about me, my status, and what we did, because he's obviously not a fan of federal income taxes. He's made that very clear. I so badly want to be the one to put the bug in his ear about this. So fucking bad. Like, I want to just try. Like, I have, and I'm just saying, I have the balls to do it. And I genuinely believe in my heart that if I could get 5 minutes with that guy, that I could convince him to hear me out.
I thought you were going to say you could get him pregnant. I was like,
I could definitely get him pregnant. That's the Puerto Rican in me. Kenny, my cat's sitting right on the other side of this desk. I'll get this fucking cat pregnant. That's a boy.
I saw he has the AI robots there. The little dogs, those China dogs. I saw that there.
I had this weird idea to just, when I know he's in Mar-a-Lago, because he meets and greets people all the time, I'm like, I'm willing to bet that if I could get 5 minutes with this guy, I think I could blow his mind. And I genuinely think in my heart that I could convince that man to listen to me.
Yeah, but the problem is once they realize you're associated with us, they'll be like, hey, those people talk against everybody. I think that's the biggest difference.
I think he, of all people, would love to hear our fucking story.
Maybe
I genuinely do.
Have you seen the videos I made, Steve? I made videos that were pretty ruthless, and I didn't go against Trump. I let Trump go against himself, and the only reason is because I had a member on the phone, and he was an older gentleman, and he told me Trump supporter, and I told him, hey, I was too. Don't feel bad. Like, I thought, drain the swamp and all this. And I believed that. And I was very strong. And I had flags up and got fined from my HOA. And, he starts telling me about his wife. His wife passed away from the vax. And it was really sad. Jesus. And he knows. And people know who's responsible when you have someone say that they're the godfather of the vaccine and all. That's the part where I struggle. And then
I feel the same way.
There's people that just write it off and they say, well, it was saline. And he was just like, no, dude. He was on the O'Reilly show promoting the boosters. So that's where I kind of am like, I don't know, Steve. Like, I feel like we have hope when we speak about someone else restoring the republic, because I think these gentlemen, all of them, and people get mad when I say they're like, why do you call them gentlemen? I don't know, to be polite. The ones I cuss about are the ones that are like the little guys. Like the ones I think I dislike the most are the little guys like us that just screw the other little guys. I hate the crabs that pull the crabs. Now the ones that are in power screwing us, I'm kind of like, I expect it. Y'all little vampires been around for thousands of years, living in your underground bunkers over there in Switzerland. Like, what do I expect y'all to do? You own all the Federal Reserves. All the fucking people just do whatever you say without question. And so I kind of like expect them to do that. And it sounds fucked up. You'd be like, so you're not as mad at the globalists? No, I think I'm more mad at our people that fuck each other than I am at the globalists that fuck us. Because I kind of expect it from them.
If you think of the globalists, you're talking about around 300 people that rule the world, okay? And then you have 7 billion people who listen to them. Yeah. So in our reality, it's we've kind of invited this mess because we've been in a lull. We've been kind of lied to and just kind of calcified to just believe that this is normal.
I do like your optimism and hope for Trump. I don't necessarily believe in that. Don't be mad at me, guys. I just not you, but I'm saying people. I
argue with my friend Nate Silvaggio. He likes all your posts, by the way. We argue about this all the time, and here's my theory. My theory is this: I don't think Trump is a savior. I don't. I think like everybody else. Go ahead, say it.
I wanted to tell you that if you Google rabbis call Trump the Mashiach, you'll see that they believe he's a savior.
It's funny you say that. I got a video right here I just sent to my buddy.
Story after story where they call Trump the Mashiach, and he's rebuilding the third temple, and he's on the temple coin. And I was like, when I was a kid, out of all the people, nobody really read the Bible except me, because I had all the time in the world when I was a little troublemaker. So I would read it over and over, and I was like, those are all biblical things. And then I don't know if you saw, Trump just got the Golden Pager Award from...
Yeah.
What the fuck is that, dude?
They killed
people. Bro, those pagers, they were blowing everybody up. And, that's fucking kind of crazy, because whenever you see the Netanyahu saying he had to bolster support for Hamas and let Qatar, funnel $5 billion in order to get the single state. And then, Big T just came out and said, hey, we're going to take over Gaza. I'm like, bro, I don't like none of that. All I care about, really, to be honest, and this is what made me slit my own throat with everybody, is I saw these little children, these little girls in Gaza being shot, and I didn't care if I lost 1 million people or all of them, because I thought those are our children, because those are God's children. And there's no difference. Red and yellow, black and white, they're precious in His sight. That's what I always say, because, I remember singing that when I was a little kid. My mom would take me to church and in Sunday school, and I just see them as ours. Like, those are God's children. Why the fuck are we standing idle just because there is so much indoctrination in America that we can look at a genocide and be like, oh, that's not a genocide? It is. It really is. And he just said he's moving 1 point. And also, I did notice, how they got rid of all the federal aid? I'm not making videos about Big T no more. I'm done. People have to figure it out on their own. I already did my job. And plus, us as a family have worked so hard putting out this really harsh information that people don't want to accept, that, we figured out something super special to be able to build our center that we wanted, and we're going to launch it. And it's more in tune with the heart and fun, and the stuff we're doing right now is very hard to explain. So we're switching a lot of our energy into the new thing that we're doing. And when we launch it, guys, y'all are going to be like, what? They did what? And y'all are going to be shocked, because we did it to a T. Everybody worked as a team, and in the end, it is so cool and fun. Super fun new thing coming for us that everyone gets to be a part of. Everyone gets to join. Everyone gets to participate. We found the loopholes that are just, it's our rights, and we figured it out, and we're sharing with everybody, and it's about to blow everyone's mind. And when does it launch, Gwen? Gwen! I don't know where she's at. In a couple months. It's right around the corner. Maybe a month. Everyone's going to be like, y'all did what? And then, join. Yeah, and you're going to freak out. I don't want to launch it too soon or say it too soon, but I guess I'll just say it. It's called Interflame Ministries. We already had 5 people. I said it earlier. We had 5 people try to donate to us already, because it's literally a straight up ministry. And It's an actual recognized church is what it is. So SNR is a ministry where we have the Save the Children, the anti-child trafficking thing. And another cool thing, guys, when we get back to San Antonio, one of my friends is like a straight up 007. I don't really talk about it, but I messaged him and I was like, hey, are you over here? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I got something to talk to you when I get there. And so what we're going to do is, you know how you see people catching child predators? You know, I wrote the instructions on, I wrote how to do it. And because I know exactly what it takes. But, you know, we can't all be the same. So my friend, my closest friend I grew up with a child, he's a rascal too. We used to always be beating everybody up.
Rascal. Well, yeah, you know, what a great word.
Yeah. Yeah, we were, bro. Well, they would always mess with us and they would be shocked that we were like one guy on my Facebook that I went to school with, he was like, dude, I remember my first day of middle school. You were like on the blacktop trying to like fight this guy. He's like, I thought middle school was gonna be like, what did he call it? He called it something like crazy gangster movie. And I was like, he's like, if people knew how bad you were and how gangster you were, they would be shocked because you speak. He's like, he said, I'm very proud of what you're doing. He says very honorable. And then we just started talking. It was pretty cool that he said that. I was like, I tried to tell Ashley and Glenn, I was like, girls, y'all don't know. Like the principal had my fucking name on his paddle, dude. I got paddled so much in middle school. His name was Mr. Rojas, the coolest principal ever, dude. He was a vice principal. He said, Kenny, I can't paddle you no more, dude. You have to go to. I said, come on, one more time. He was the coolest guy, Mr. Rojas. I'll never forget you. If you ever hear this, you're cool. And then, yeah, it was crazy. So then I forgot my whole train of thought. Mr. Rojas then threw me off getting paddled all those years. But that rebellious spirit, dude.
You talking about the ministry, yeah, and a guy you ran into, a friend who goes on Facebook.
Yeah, fucking brain fart.
But, yeah, join the club, man.
Yeah, it's because I go on those like little journeys in my mind, and next thing you know, I was like, where did I start this at?
Well, here's the thing. So when we're talking about these topics, I struggle. It's hard to stay on topic, especially podcasting, because we're not like great. I have an outline, but the idea is to just have banter. So, you know, you and I have done a lot of shit. We did a lot of cool things when we were younger. We got in a lot of fucking trouble. We have a lot of stories, but a lot of the stories from our past led us to where we are now. So as we're talking about something in the present, your brain naturally trails back to the past because something you're experiencing now is a result of something you experienced when you were younger.
For sure, dude.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just the way our brains operate. And by the way, studies have shown that being a genius and a psychopath are very close to one another. So you and I are kind of walking that fine line. So
terrible, Steve. I thought you were going to get something super sentimental, and then I was like, fuck.
No, you'll get no sentimental out of me. No. We're incredibly cunning psychopaths is what we are.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, don't label me as that. I'm just a rebellious one, really.
Yeah, but listen, and I'm telling you, we've talked about this, that skepticism and that ability to kind of push back on authority, I believe is why we're at this point right now. We historically, even back to when we were kids, we've talked about this. We have always questioned authority, pushed back. We never like being told what to do. We fought and stood strong for our beliefs. That's who we are. And I genuinely think it takes that type of fortitude and mindset to accept the reality we're pushing on people. So it's a blessing and a curse. Like we got in trouble when we were younger, but then we kind of honed it into this positivity and we're able to take that and kind of project it onto other people.
And have courage where most people wouldn't. I think that's the biggest thing.
Like you and I don't have a problem fighting the system or taking chances where other people wouldn't. No, because we've been down, we've been out, we've got back up. So it is what it is, man. It's just life is a fucking journey. It's not an experience. So, and you and I are definitely on a fucking awesome journey right now. So there's your sentiment. There's your sentiment. We're just a couple of psychopaths on a journey.
Oh, golly.
All right. Hold on, Kenny. I want to talk about one of the things I had put down. Explain to the audience the bond of indebtedness and why it's such a critical document.
Well, it's really up to you if you want to do it. But basically, no different than the way the IRS works. So whenever you sign your W-2, your 1040, under penalty of perjury, you're volunteering those taxes. If, a lot of people talk about that are extremely wealthy, they say, look, if you never file or anything, you never get in the system, they don't even know you exist. So what they do is they just never get into the system. But that comes from people who really know what's going on. So essentially what you're doing is you're voluntarily indebting yourself to the trust. And by doing so, you're able, it's because the trust is a God, it's an ecclesiastical trust is what it is. And so when you indebt yourself to the trust, it allows you to be able to fund things that you would get to the trust. And the way you're able to do it is because, look, I'm indebted, bro. So you voluntarily indebt yourself. It's just something you can do. You don't actually have to do it, but doing it as a state national is important if you're trying to like really protect all your labor. So it's more of a labor asset protection tool, because do you really want to take your labor, if you believe in God, and use it to do something that's against God's will, like harming another creation of God? No. Someone who truly believes in God and gets the concept, you realize you're there to be a protector of creation. So you don't want to get your tax dollars and give it to the government so they could go blow somebody up or go, spread the bacteria on San Francisco Bay and then see how quick everybody gets sick. You don't want to participate in that as a true believer in God. And that's the biggest difference for people that take action like we do. You realize like, okay, God put me here not to be a part of the system. So what you do by the bond of indebtedness, it allows you to use a legal way to be able to say, look, I'm indebted. Just like you would legally indebt yourself to the IRS with the W-4, W-2, 1040, all that. It's the same thing, but you're doing it for God, for the trust. And you're essentially indebting yourself to the trust.
So I'm going to tell you my experience with this and why I completed the bond of indebtedness. So when I was filling out the paperwork for my payroll department at work, I was told that they can't take the WBEN because in order to issue a paycheck, it has to be made out to the employee, to a person. Okay, fine. No big deal. So I completed the bond of indebtedness. So every week my paycheck gets deposited into my trust checking account, which is, again, under the Bardi Familiar God Trust, and it's not attached to my Social Security number. So every week I go to work, I earn wages, not income. Make sure you know the difference. And those wages then get passed along to the Bardi Familiar God Trust.
I want to tell you something that we always advance. We even adjusted it from wages back to labor. Because as we learn more, so now you can go and switch that too. Because once we figure something out, we're not one to be like, we know everything. No, once we find something better, we switch it. So now it's labor. It's not even wages anymore. But either way, just, continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No, but I'm saying, so my point was, to your point, that's why I have the bond of indebtedness, because I can't have my paycheck issued to the Bardi Familiar God Trust because the trust is not the one clocking into work Monday through Friday. I am. So I did the bond of indebtedness just as another way to kind of secure myself legally in case of any future events. So it shows, I'm the one that's being paid for my labor, but I've indebted myself to this family trust, so it gets everything. Yeah. So basically,
You're allowed to do that.
Yes, you are.
People just don't know these. These are like the loopholes that only the ultra rich know, and they just do it because they have the top-notch trust lawyers.
Correct. And I'd like to point out, I had this discussion with my payroll department, and the dude, Rich, I don't want to say his last name. I've never even met him because I work in a different state. But this dude was beyond helpful in every step of the way. I told him what I was doing, why I was doing it. He's just like, no, you're going to do this, this, and this. He goes, here's where you file exempt. So it was nice to have somebody from a payroll with the IRS perspective backing up and reinforcing everything that I was doing. Now, not everyone's going to have the same experience. But again, I'd like to point out every step of the way, I've treated everybody. And I'm talking about from when I'm mailing out my documents, every step of the way to the town clerk, everything I've done, I've been very open, very forthright. I've been very humorous, friendly, inviting. I've offered to buy coffees if I was going to an office. And
smart.
Everybody I had to deal with, I needed something from, is on my side. They're like rooting for me at this point. So it's funny, even now, if I go to the post office, like, oh, you're not in prison. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to prison.
So we did the same thing. We had a lot of people intrigued when we were doing it at our bank. And it's very interesting to people because people want to do something. They just don't all have the courage. And I think
No.
that comes from the lack of the knowledge. And that's
exactly what it is.
I think we get the courage because we have comprehended to a certain extent how the system works. And that's anybody. Once you know how it works to a certain extent, you don't have the fear, because fear typically comes from the unknown. That's just the way it works. That's why people are like, I'm scared of the dark because you can't see.
Well, and here's the best part is once you get to that point where you can comfortably talk about this like we do and we have, it's funny because most people, the average person, 90% of people don't know what the hell we're talking about. By default, you're an expert. So, and for me, as someone who's outgoing, I love to talk. Like, dude, I'm talking like, even at Walmart, perfect example. Brianna and I, we go buy we get most of our food in bulk. We buy from farms, condiments, shit like that, whatever we get, we'll go to Walmart and get. So everybody in Walmart knows us as, they call us the sexy couple, but we're like we're the tax-free couple. Like everybody knows, they all know us as that over there. And they're all fucking just completely enamored with our story. And I'm telling you, and this is why I've been so successful in conveying my message and directing people to the website or answering questions. Once this, even just a little bit of knowledge in this topic, nobody knows about this. Yeah. So it's just like, it's very easy to captivate people and to hold a room with even just a little bit of knowledge. And to see that, I love when I get to see that aha moment when I'm talking to them. And my specialty is I have a very unique skill set where I can take a message I'm trying to give to you, but I can target it to you. I can tailor it specifically to you. It's a tactic called spin selling, but that's what I've always been good at. So, I involve everybody. Anyone that I need in my ecosystem is fully aware of everything that we're doing. Even the 3 girls at the library when I applied for my passport who had no fucking idea what I was talking about. I went back there after I got my passport card, my travel book. I went back. They were like, "Oh my God, can I take a picture of this?" I'm like, "Yeah, God, I don't give a shit." Like, just they were blown away. But they're like, "Wow, you just taught us something." No,
well, the goal is really to restore the republic, and that is how you do it, with the knowledge. And once enough of us know that the way to restore the republic isn't really, like, so many people say, well, Trump's going to restore the republic, but they don't realize, how do you actually restore a republic?
It's kind of an idea. It's something we had the republic and we let it go. Even if Trump was to say, hey, I'm going to restore the republic, as much as you really can't say that, let's just say hypothetically he did, it's still up to us to keep it. Exactly. We had it and we lost it.
The keep it part means that the average everyday American has to know exactly how their constitutional rights work, what they are, and anytime, okay, I want to recognize what a tyrannical law or ordinance or statute, what does that look like? And then examples would be laid out so people could get it. Okay, so now as a foundation, whether you're right, left, or liberal, or whatever you want to be, it doesn't matter because the foundation is always protected. We always agree on that. And so in order to destroy that, you divide the people and you take the knowledge. So the whole goal in order to truly restore a republic isn't by a president. The president can't restore the republic. He can only try or say or pretend or whatever they're going to do. The true republic is the knowledge within the people. When you're labeled as we the people, what that means is that you know your constitutional rights, you stand up for them, and you're willing to stand up for them. And that's we the people. So when everyone starts to restore that constitutional knowledge and come together, and even if, like, I know a lot of people are like, but I don't want to claim my nationality. Like, okay, but you can still learn your First Amendment rights. You can learn your Second Amendment rights. You can learn all your constitutional rights. And by the end of it, you'll probably want to. You're probably like, I can do what? Yeah.
But this is what I mean. Then people become very complacent.
Yeah, but it's not that much. It's because there's a lot of dickhead teachers that don't streamline the info. But it's really simple, guys. They're not supposed to break the Constitution. And I think the best constitutional teacher is old Carl Miller that passed away and left us that 5-hour legacy video, totally explaining the comprehension of it. Because people talk about people have constitutional classes, but honestly, I haven't found one that I was like, dude, I learned so much. Oh my God. And I'm truly, normally I'm like, this shit is boring as hell, bro. Can I tell
you a trick that I did with the Carl Miller 5-hour video? I do this with everything on YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, tell us, enlighten us.
All right. So I need to like touch and feel and like highlight, write notes. So I need to do, that's how my brain learns. I'm a physical, like I need to manipulate something. So what I did with the Carl Miller YouTube video, I took the 5-hour video, I went on YouTube and I made sure I turned the transcript on.
It's on the website too, if y'all can find it.
If you go to statenationalsrock.com, the whole 5-hour video is right on the website. There. So here's what I'm going to recommend folks do, because I can, listening to things will trigger an idea in my head, but I need to sit down, highlight, write, rewrite. That's just the way my brain works. So what I did with the Carl Miller video, I literally opened up the YouTube video, I opened up the transcript, and I just clicked at the very first letter, I dragged and I highlighted the entire 5-hour transcript, and I copied and pasted it into a Microsoft Word document. Now I have my own 5-hour Carl Miller constitutional law book.
That's cool.
And then so I do that with anything I want to actually learn and apply.
We should put that up. Send it to us, Steve. We'll put it on the damn site.
I can give that to you.
Yeah,
so you can give it to them as a download. I do that with everything. So like I can't tell.
A great idea.
And I'll go a step further. I did this when I was in college because I went to school online at University of Phoenix for my bachelor's degree. I used to do that I would take the books, the PDFs, I would print them up. I would download them onto a thumb drive, take them to Staples, and I would have them color and laser print everything. I spent quite a bit of money on it. And then I would just put them in 3-ring binders, and I made my own books. It's 'cause I don't like just looking at a screen. I don't like just listening to things. I like to be able to make my own whatever.
That's pretty cool. That's why we created Step 1, Steve, because people learn like that.
Yeah, I can't help it. So it's like a blessing and a curse. My brain works so fast. This is why I'm a good comedian, because in the moment I'm really good on the fly, but things are in and out of my brain like this. So I have to write everything down. If I could show you across the desk, my wife is the same way. She's got fucking sticky notes everywhere. Everywhere, because she's the same thing. Our brains work very fast, but we lose information just as quick. Yeah. So again, I have that. I'll send it over to you. But yeah, you could take that whole 5-hour class. I have it in a Word document. I did the same thing with How to Win in Court. I did the same thing I do that with a shitload of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I copy and paste the transcript into a Word document and make my own books.
Yeah. In case anybody's wondering why Steve has the rap, he was just wrestling Macho Man Randy Savage for some damn snap into a Slim Jims. But I was like, bro, how'd it go?
All right, listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I have a very lonely marriage. There's a reason my right hand is always so sore. I'll just leave it at that.
He's lying. He's a liar on that one.
All right.
We all know.
You know what? No, this is actually kind of in line with what we're doing. So I'll tell you guys exactly why I have this on. Okay. So I have like a calcium deposit or a bone spur or something on my right hand. I don't really know what it's from, but it's pressing on the nerves. So
you don't know what it's from.
Yeah. It's called masturbatory pain. So my ring and middle finger are constantly pins and needles. It wakes me up at night. So I come to find out that this little bone spur or calcium deposit, whatever it is, I think it's pushing on something. So we don't like doctors.
Like on a nerve.
Traditional medicine. Yeah. So we don't like going to the doctor unless I need surgery or something. So we found that if you put castor oil on those calcium deposits and cover it and just leave it that way, it'll eventually just break it up and it goes away. And I can tell you it's working. This is day 3 and I can move it around. It feels like it's breaking off.
Wow.
So I couldn't get, because I'm typing all day. So I couldn't get a Band-Aid or anything to sit on it and keep it. You have to put the castor oil on your skin and cover it with like a Q-tip. So I just put a Band-Aid on it.
I just thought you were wrestling, and but that's cool too.
I mean, you want to snap it to a Slim Jim?
Yeah. Remember that shit?
A little trick. Ooh, but I could feel it working. 3 days, I could feel the bone spur. Like I could shift it around, so it's breaking up.
Wow.
So anyway, that's why I have this on. Yeah,
I'm sure someone's gonna be like, dude, they're already wrapped up.
Wow, this kid jerks off a lot.
Oh my god. My daughter told me, she was one of my other kiddos. She's like, I was listening to your podcast. I was like, really?
Sorry.
No, I'm just like, she's funny. She's telling me.
That's a lot of comments I get. People love the knowledge, and for some reason, people like my sense of humor. I just think it's
that's good. People, I mean, because people, I think a lot of people relate to when you make fun of yourself. There, it's not so. It's it's just.
Ken, you know why I started doing this?
I don't know.
Like why I pick on myself a lot. My entire life, people thought I was a cop. So like you have like this kind of imposing figure. When I'm out in public, apparently I have like a resting bitch face. Everybody thinks I'm mean. I'm a cop. I'm like, I'm none of these things.
Yeah.
So I was a kid. I just started like I fought a lot when I was a kid, but now I'm just like I don't want to be looked at that way. So I use my sense of humor with myself as a way to let everybody like, dude, this is me. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then it just kind of.
And the only thing I was wondering is, what about that badge behind you?
Oh, the badge.
He's like, oh, the badge.
Wait, hold on, is my closet open? I thought maybe you saw like my flannels.
That's pretty cool, man. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that we crossed paths. Steve was always like a go-getter. I think I remember something that the girls told me about you. You were going to get, or you did get, the one where you get the hands-on, they call it package number 2, where we do your first step where you self-determine and claim your nationality, and then you remove consent. I'm pretty sure you like bought it, but then
I did.
You actually completed it right away and did it on your own and didn't even need to get it, right? Isn't that what happened? I remember that.
Yeah. And then
you're just like a go-getter. You just do it.
Ashley's like, oh my God. She goes, we'll just refund your money. I'm like, no, keep it. I don't care. She's like, no. She goes, I'm not going to keep your money. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I was just fucking around with it. I just thought I could figure it out. And I did.
Yeah. I know. That's why we made it that way. Literally anybody can go do it themselves. And if you're worried and think you can't, you can also buy it. We'll send it to you done. But we only offer the first step because we really want people to be empowered with the knowledge. Because once enough of us see this stuff and we realize what's happening, you're not going to be mad at your ignorant neighbor. You're going to see, hey, they just walked in with McDonald's. Obviously, shit ain't working out for them. They haven't figured out McDonald's. I just saw a little kid. Gwen showed me a mother was showing a little kid who bit into a chicken nugget and there was a baby's tooth in it. How the fuck do you get a baby's tooth in a chicken nugget if somewhere along the line there wasn't some baby mixed up in there? And I thought it was fake. It's not fake. The mother was dead serious, crying, and the video went pretty viral.
Disgusting.
It's horrible. I don't think we truly understand or comprehend what's going on in the world to realize the amount that we should be moving to fix what's happening. And I mean, if it wasn't so important to me and my family, trust me, would have never gave up our lives to do this, because it's been very hard. Like the last 9 months we've sat in a house, and me and Gwen and Ashley have worked harder than we've ever worked our whole life. We don't take breaks. Right now I do a 36-hour straight thing. Gwen does a 48. I don't know how we're doing it. I think someone's like helping us, make God or whatever people want to call it. But we have this unlimited amount of energy.
It's divine energy.
I just drink green tea, bro. Gwen don't even drink green tea. Like we are unprocessed. We don't eat processed foods, guys. We purify our water extremely. Like we have really clean water. All of our eating habits would shock people. You'd be like, y'all eat what? How hard is that? So we're very clean on, any processed foods, and we have no reason to be able to have this type of energy. It's shocking.
But you feel this way because you are doing what we were meant to do. We were not meant to be organisms eating processed foods, sitting under fluorescent lights all day. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, yeah. There are so many things sitting in front of a computer screen with the blue lights. Like, don't get me wrong. I genuinely love my job. I love the people I work with.
You see how yellow my screen is? I noticed, when people were talking about the blue light hurting your eyes?
Yeah.
No, dude, it started damaging my eyes. The phone.
I believe it.
No, I literally had to buy these glasses, and now I changed the color on my phone. And what happened was when it started to cause damage to my eyes, I noticed that every light that was blue-based or LED-based, it started to give me black spots for long periods. So what I did to fix it is every single light was switched to a warm hue. And I have these little glasses that I use. These glasses right here, guys. These are the bee's knees for healing your eyes if you get them damaged from that light. That blue light does damage your eyes on the phone. It damaged mine.
Let me see them.
See how they have little holes? Let me try to put it up there.
You kind of look like a child predator with those on, but I like them.
No, don't, Steve. Those are the jokes I don't like. Don't joke about that, guys. We have. Oh yeah, that I didn't finish that. We're gonna catch child predators. We are. We're gonna do it the right way. Me and my childhood friend. He's 100% in, and I told him, look, we can't hurt him though. The reason is because I grew up getting in trouble. So I see those guys that slap the predators, and my friend thinks he's like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. And I was like, dude, the thing is that they're doing that because they've never really been in trouble. They don't know how it works inside there. Inside there, those predators get it beyond whatever you can imagine. And when you assault them, you can't necessarily press charges on them anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to get them locked up. Like they're going to get locked up. We're going to get hundreds of them locked up. So when we get back to when I'm back in Texas, which will be just in like a couple months, permanently, not permanently, but for a very long time, we're going to start catching them. And my friend, that's the 007 guy, I just talked to him, and he's in the same little town over. What I want to do is I want to be able to hire him and maybe one other guy. I know a guy that's a detective too in the city. And I know the guy that just got cheated out of the election for sheriff too. I know him too. I know a lot of people
there. Your buddy you were promoting, he got cheated out of it?
Yeah, of course, dude. Because the other guy's a straight up New World Order guy. He's like all on board, saying he's going to save the immigrants over the people, and it's crazy. But anyways, I want to hire two of them so that when we go, we're able to make sure and have witnesses there. Nobody gets hurt, and these dudes get locked up. And the main important part is they get a jacket for life. They're never getting out of that jacket. They're going to always, and as a jacket, that just means like you're stuck with what you're labeled. Once you're labeled a sex offender trying to hit on children, you're stuck forever like that. You're never getting out of that label. So that's what we want to do. And I see so many people doing it in the wrong way. And I see there's also, there's like a bigger guy that does it in the right way. He does a really good job about it. And so I wrote the instructions for it and put it on our site. But now we're going to do it. So when I get back, I'm going to start doing that. But I'm going to do it the right way. And I want to inspire others to do it. And we have all the instructions, guys, for everybody to repeat what we're doing. And so we're going to put, I think when I start doing it, I'm going to make a couple videos so people can donate so that we can hire these guys. And I'm going to put a transparency page on the site to where everybody who donates, it's going to show what you put in and how much you put in. And it'll be like first name, just the last initial. So if someone donates like $500, they're going to see, hey, look, there's my donation. And it's going to show what cop gets paid. And we're just going to do it probably in like 4-hour increments. And we're going to catch them. They're going to get locked the fuck up. And they're not getting out of it because I know how to create evidence because of my history and everything that I've done. I know exactly how to create evidence that you can't get off. Even with the best attorney, you ain't getting off. And that's what we did. So when I explained it to my friend how it works, he was like, oh, wow. Yeah, they can't get off. And he got it. Anybody I explain it to, they're like, whoa, you're right, dude. They're fucked. I'm like, yeah, they're screwed. And so we're going to wipe a bunch of them off, doing it the right way so that they get locked up, not just slapping them, even though that's kind of funny that they do that. But think about it. Once you slap these dudes, that's it. They're done.
Well, they can press charges against you now.
Well, of course, you can always get press charges for assault. So you don't get out of it. Typically, they don't want to press charges on you because they know you have the case on them. So what it leaves is a wash. Like, yeah, you slapped them up, but that doesn't mean they're not going to reoffend.
It's almost like offsetting penalties in the NFL.
And and that's not justified. That slap is nothing. If you ever have been in trouble and you know what happens behind the doors, let me tell you guys, your slap ain't shit. It ain't even close because what happens in there is very scary. And we know from, many friends that are involved. Like I was telling you, that other guy that works for my friend, that guy used to be like in charge of the area over there. And he's been gone for many times. Like they tried to erase him from the thing he was in. And plus, like the detectives and all the different people I know exactly how it works when they get in there. The guards always tell on them. They never get a break. And half of them don't make it out. People don't realize what happens to predators in Texas or really in any state. If you go to jail as a predator, it's way, way bad for you, which is good.
Yeah, because you spend most of your time in isolation. Otherwise, you'll get killed.
Well, yeah. So eventually what happens, they do. They go to protective custody. They call it PC. And it's just like a lockdown. So they don't typically like that setting. So they'll go to GP, general population. But what happens is all the guards don't give a fuck and they snitch him out. They're like, hey, he's in here for, crime against a child. And then once that's found out, it is game over, bro. At minimum, At minimum, it's really bad. But at the worst case, they die. And I'm not saying I'm advocating for that. What I'm advocating is to prevent children from being harmed. And see, these types of things do create courage. You have to have time. You have to have, smarts. You have to do it right. And we're going to do it. And I'm going to show people and we're going to inspire. So we're not just doing one thing. We're going to knock a bunch of shit out the park when we get back. Because we go between Texas and Mexico. A lot of people don't know. Viva la Mexico. They don't know that. But,
by the way, I want to throw this out there. When you get back settled in Texas, I want to fly down there with Brianna, and I want to do an in-person podcast with you and the family.
That's cool. Yeah, we have all the mics.
First of all, I want to come visit you because I haven't met you guys in person yet anyway, which is kind of bullshit. But
it's all right.
I want to. I think it'd be really cool if we took a trip down there, come see you guys.
No, where we're moving, dude, you're gonna love it. We're moving to a sick ass town. It's right next to San Antonio. It's called New Braunfels. A lot of people in Texas know it's like a badass little town, and that's where we're gonna go. I'm from San Antonio. That's where I was born and raised. Hellraiser over there. My poor mother. Sorry, Mom. I had to tell you this real quick. I told my mother the other day. I said, Mom, did you know that all that shit I gave you when I was a kid? I'm sorry, it's all my fault. She looked at me like, what'd you say? I was like, yeah, I probably made it really hard on you and James, always fighting, fucking up your marriage. I told her, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. She literally shit her pants. She said, what'd you say? She was like, oh. I was like, yeah. That's one of the things that we learned as we went through all this to create what we just created, because we just created our own church. A lot of people don't know. It's based on Christ values because we believe in Christ. But we did it in a different way. So one of the things is responsibility for your actions. If your life sucks, it's your fault. Do something about it. If your life is great,
absolutely true.
It's your fault because you've worked at it and you've made it what it is.
You've made a series of terrible choices to put you where you are.
It's not your experiences that define you. It's you that define you. And the moment you realize that, you won't take your past and lay it over your future. You will start to decide your future. And that's basically what the responsibility does. And that's how we connect it to the constitutional republic. And it is your responsibility, not Trump's, to restore the republic. So that's where we're at. That's the truth.
No, I agree with you 1,000%. I don't care what Trump does or says. Like, I like a lot of the things that he's doing. But no one person is going to restore the public, or no one person is going to teach you how to stand on your rights. Yeah. So
it's all of us together. And once enough of us realize and we come together, they're screwed. They can't stop us. Yeah, they can't. And yeah, we will. I said something. I was like, yeah, they can't, but yeah, they will. Actually, hey, my friend told me. So my friend is my close friend. His big body shop is over there by one of the Air Force bases in San Antonio, because there's a bunch of bases over there. And he said, dude, there's been a bunch of weird ass drones flying around. I told him, dude, send me some videos whenever you catch them.
Yeah, seriously.
And and he randomly does. One day he sent me a van that was driving down the highway, and it was like, birds are fake. And he's like, dude, do you know anything about this? Because he knows, like,
I saw that, the fake pigeons.
Dude, okay. Now, I told him, I've never seen anything about fake birds. I don't know anything. But I want to tell you, Steve, there's something weird that's going on. In Mexico, where we're located, if I fly my drone here, birds literally want to attack it like crazy. And there's birds in all the trees nonstop chirping. It's very nice. It's lovely. And it's not that way in Texas. I promise you. Number one, the skies are completely barricaded with chemtrails as soon as you cross the border. It's just the way it is. It does feed over into Mexico, but it's just so bad in Texas. It's horrible. And there's no birds over there. I'm telling you, there's no birds. And I have a feeling it has to do with the 5G towers, because in my town that I'm at,
it could be,
there's only one 5G tower. And you know what? There's a really old church here, bro. And Jesus on the church, on the stained glass, he's black, dude. Brother is a brother. He is
Negro,
not.
huh?
I'm telling you, he's a brother. And I was like, wow, Jesus is black here. They found that this is like real history or something over here.
Well, if you look historically where old. Jesus was from, he was probably darker skinned.
Yeah. So there's no birds in Texas, really. Not like there is here. There's birds everywhere here. And I remember that as a kid, there being birds. So whenever my friend sent me the van about there's no birds, I happened to come across 2 videos, bro. And I don't know if I've told you this. The birds were decaying, and they picked it up for some reason because it just was like staying there forever. And the bird had robotic parts inside, but it looked like a real bird.
Yeah.
They're a real bird. And I was like, dude, I showed my friend, I was like, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. But
it could be.
they attack my drone here. So I can't fly it in certain spaces. I have to like get up and go. I can't just sit there and hover because they will literally attack that shit. Not in the U.S.
There's fucking birds everywhere around here. Jesus Christ.
Really? In the
but
U.S.?
I got the woods right behind my house. So like I'm in a cul-de-sac, so I got
You're
woods
in the green
back here.
belt.
Yeah, so
well,
it's dude, fucking birds, they wake us up in like the springtime. You get the windows open.
Yeah.
At like 4:00 in the morning. It's like a bird fucking orgy out there. It's ridiculous.
Actually, did you know that the bird, like as they chirp, it causes the plants to know when to open up their pistils and start the photosynthesis? And so,
Really?
Yeah, they're all interconnected, and that's why these bastards are attacking everything from the bees to the birds to the soil, and that's just the only way that stops is us. So I was thinking, okay, what about chemtrails? How do we stop that with people like, well, just get an environmental lawyer. I want to tell you, these assholes that are, and maybe there's some good ones, so sorry, I'm not talking about you, but I'm saying these guys have been here the whole time and they aren't doing shit about it. Or whatever they are doing isn't enough. And they're definitely not getting it out there to the public, and no one's truly stopping it. So I really want to put the burden, I want it on us. So if we put that burden and we start to take a role, because I put a video up of this lady, she used
about chemtrails?
Yeah, she put the flight tracker. She started tracking them. She started recognizing who the planes were, who owns them, what company, who the pilots' names are. And then she started doing air tests, soil tests to prove that these assholes are poisoning us. They may not realize it because they're just getting a pretty penny. They're just getting paid and they're just doing what they're told. But she went and confronted them. Now, what if we all did that? As a collective, we know how to litigate. Basic litigation skills. We don't need to be experts. We're not trying to take the Hancock's job. We just need the republic restored, and that has to do with litigation a little bit. You need the basics, and then you also need your constitution. You get your constitutional rights with a little bit of basic litigation. We will have the constitutional republic restored. That's what it takes, and that's kind of why I always say, imagine this, Steve. Imagine in the next 3 months, everybody in America started jumping on SNR and started claiming their status and getting it attached to the passport. I can promise you in 1 year from that time, we would restore the republic. We would in 1 year.
And 1 year. This was kind of my goal. Like, it's Rhode Island. We're in the smallest state. I'm like, if there's a perfect kind of beta test, Rhode Island would be it. We should be the easiest one. Everyone thinks we're a blue state, and I'm telling you, we're not. We're a red state. Most elections in this state, only 32 to 34% of the state actually shows out to vote. Wow. That means upwards of 67, 68% of the state thinks it's pointless or just doesn't give a shit.
Well,
so you know what I mean? Like I
they're not wrong if you think about it.
But I'm saying, like, this just shows you how many people actually don't give a shit. By the way, the reason I paused for a second, I just got a text message. I applied for a credit card under my trust, under the using the EIN. So it got denied the first time. So I reached out. I think I told you this. I reached out to the bank.
Yeah,
because I got denied because there's no credit history. So I had to reapply. Credit card. Did you apply? Yes. One for yes. Yes. Okay. So for those of you who aren't aware, I'm trying to apply for a credit card under the trust's name, which is not attached to our social. And that's what the email literally just came through.
Building the trust credit. Everybody could use a trust. And with us, we have the ecclesiastical trust, I think, in the gold. So it's like $27, and you can do it. But we actually built, it's not done yet. Gwen is a freaking Jedi.
Oh, shit.
I don't even know what to say. Yeah.
Hey, pause 1 second. Just don't go anywhere. Hold on a second, because they're calling me right now. Hold on. Don't hang up.
No. I'll talk. You got it. So
weird.
Gwen is a genius, guys. I just want y'all to know.
Hello,
she's really,
Steve.
Really smart. Hello, this is Steve. Let's mute Steve. Let's get him out of here. Let's all let's all listen to Steve, since this is Steve Bardi. Gwen built the website Inner Flame Ministries. Y'all should go check it out. It's awesome. I don't even know what to say about her. For certain things, she's unstoppable. I couldn't do it. I started to build one, and she didn't have she didn't have the gall to tell me. She's like, Kenny, it kind of looks kindergartenish. And, it took me a while. I built all these pages out. I'm thinking I'm kicking ass, taking names.
Can I have you right back, all right?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. And then as I realize as hers is, she's a lot further along. So I look at her website and I'm looking at mine and I was like, Gwen, I think mine looks like a kindergartner with this coloring book. I was like, set my ego down. I was like, I think you should do it. You're the better person for the job. So she built Inner Flame Ministries. Gwen did. And when you go look at it, you would think, she's like a damn pro already. So she's going to finish up the trust website. I already have all the documents done. What we're working on is getting people CPA resources and estate planners in case someone wants to have a professional trustee take the place. But we also put instructions for you to be the professional trustee. So we have an entire trust website launching. It'll be up in a couple months. You'll be able to buy the trust a la carte. And the difference is that trust that we have on our membership is an ecclesiastical trust, like $27. These trusts are going to be fairly affordable, but they have everything. You could buy whole life policies, you could sell real estate, you could hold real estate, you could do anything with these trusts. These are literally the bee's knees of the trust. These are the ones they sell for 20 grand. So we did that. So we know that people that are purchasing a trust for 20 grand is because they have the money, but that doesn't mean that people that can't afford that shouldn't be able to have the same access. So that's what we did. We filled the gap and we wanted people to be able to get a badass trust. So we have an ecclesiastical version. We have just a regular one. It's basically a non-grantor, irrevocable. Well, they're messaging me too. It's a private dynasty trust. But it also has like vortex banking applied. It has so much stuff. It has every clause that all the big trusts that people sell. Then we have a gun trust, so people could have their guns that are registered, or even the ones that are Second Amendment, the constitutional guns. Those are unregistered guns, which you can buy. A lot of people might not know how that works, but I make videos about it. You can still buy your Second Amendment guns. It's called a private sale. You would go to a gun show and find a private dealer, and that's how you get it. So we have a gun trust. We have a pet trust. We have a special needs trust if you have handicapped kids, which, we relate to that. So that's why we created it. And then our main trust that we have on there, you can literally have it own all of the other trusts. So that way you break it up. There's also land trust on there. And so this will be a whole trust website dedicated just to trust and trust knowledge. And all the knowledge is there. So everything that these assholes are gatekeeping, it's all there for the taking. And that way you're informed on how it works. They don't always know Steve is the problem. They don't know. Why would you need to register? That's not true. You don't have to register. That's not true.
So did you hear my conversation?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Yeah, dude. So they're telling me, send me your articles of incorporation from the Secretary of State. I'm like, why? I have an EIN. You don't need any of these things.
Yeah. That's just their own personal policy. They don't know. They're used to operating a certain way. They don't know, Steve. That's
I'm just like, I'm not wasting my fucking time with you people.
Well, yeah. I was giving them examples of how people go to get their trust, they're denied, and then you get in contact with the main guy in charge of the trust department for that particular bank. Send them over the trust, explain it's an ecclesiastical God trust, and then once they see it, they're like, "Yeah, you fit all the elements, and you can get a bank account," and they let them. But at first, they're hit with no and opposition.
Well, and this is even for the bank account. I have the bank account set up, so what I want to do is I'm trying to establish credit under the EIN.
Well, get a secured credit first, pay for the credit card, and start to build it like that. That could be another way.
You know what? I was going to do that and just throw like $5,000-$10,000 on there and just do it myself. I thought I would go this route first.
I told y'all, Steve got that dough, guy. He ain't playing.
Yeah, this is just a fucking waste of my time. Because I know I don't need the fucking handout. I'll make my own credit card. Like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. Like, I get it. He's like, I need a letter from the Secretary of State. I need you to fax over. Like, and I had this conversation with them like a month and a half ago. I'm like, listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you people just gave me and my wife a credit card with a $25,000 limit 3 months ago. I said, for the past 3 months, all of our monthly expenses, $5,000-$6,000 a month, paid the bill off the day it came in. I said, as a matter of fact, it's on auto payment. You guys just pay yourselves. I said, so the argument I made with them is like, you guys denied me because I don't have a credit line. I'm like, you literally just gave me a credit card. I said, but because it's under a trust, you denied it. It doesn't have a credit history. I go, you're pulling the funds from the same account. It's with me and my wife. I'm like, nothing has changed. I'm like, but the EIN somehow throws us off.
Yeah.
He's like, well, and so what he said, he's like, well, why don't you send us what we'll have? We'll see what we can do. I'm like, that just sounds like a waste of my time. And I just hung up the phone. So I'm just going to.
We heard you, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to open a fucking secure credit card under the EIN, do it myself. I'll put my own fucking money up. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. So I didn't expect them to call like that quick. It's fucking like 9 o'clock on a Friday night. Like they were texting me. Yeah, they were texting me. Hey, we got your application, blah, blah, blah. Would you like us to call? I said, yeah, call me whenever you want. I responded, yes.
Yeah.
I expected a call like tomorrow on Monday.
Yeah.
And they immediately fucking called me.
Yeah.
And then the guy talking on the phone sounded like he was snorting fucking Percocets in the bathroom for the last 3 hours. Just fucking all over the place. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, what? He's like, sorry, that's the caffeine talking.
You know, I'm sure a lot of people, because we said that we're in Mexico and Texas, people are probably like, well, what happened since Trump came in? I can tell you, they secured that damn border. They are not fucking around. But at the same token, they're also the ones who opened it up. So that's the big illusion that people don't realize. Like, they opened it up to close it down. And so this is the perfect example. Everyone should see how the wheel just pretends and plays itself against us. There's a Republican governor in Texas, right? He pretends to fight, Biden on the border. But then his friend gets the $1 billion contract to bust the immigrants all over the country. How does that not click in people's head that they're all working together? Because then they bust them in, they make the money, they launder the money around to all their friends, they all get richer, and then they kick them out, use all the money again. We pay it both ways. We pay the first way and we pay them out. And the whole game is just an illusion. Now, that's the problem I have, and that's what I'm trying to get people to see.
It's a big mind fuck.
They get mad at me because I speak against Hot Wheels or against whatever these people are, because the dude's in a wheelchair. I always feel like, have you seen that movie where because back in the day before we had our grand awakening, we used to watch all the funny movies and shit. And what was that movie where he's like the wingman and that guy's in the fake wheelchair and then he gets up and runs away when they get caught? I forget the name of that movie because it's been so many years. But yeah, it's like where homeboy.
All I'm thinking of is that I'm thinking of the movie with Tom Green, Freddie Got Fingered, where he's got the girlfriend who's paralyzed, he's beating her leg with a bamboo stick.
Oh my god! Of course I know that movie. That's fucking funny. Not that many people know that one. That one was
That's
really
a great
funny.
fucking movie.
He smacks her right in the face, right? Boom!
I only see one LeBaron, Freddie. I only see one LeBaron. I don't see two LeBarons.
I'm Dad's favorite child. He's like, get the fuck out of the way.
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Yeah, dude, that was our stuff. We used to live a very funny life. When Ashley would do her hair shows and we had the salon, we had like 5 employees and we just lived life. We would have a lot of fun, guys. And I mean, it's quite mind-boggling that we would give all that up to do this, because this was hard. This shit is hard. It's hard when you're the wayfinder. Yeah, and then you have to figure out these people that are lying and fibbing and deceiving, which we did. I found out gurus that are straight up deceiving. But what I decided to do was not to expose them because of the people. Because there's one individual. He inspired all these people. And maybe I will expose them later on, because I video recorded it when I called him out to his face. And it was pretty cool. But I just didn't want to create more division and confuse people. So I always
it's not worth it. They weed themselves out. No, it's like people whose businesses closed during COVID. Like if you weren't strong enough to last a little bit of a hard time, then you probably didn't belong in business. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hate Steve. That's terrible. That's the only bad thing I've ever heard you say. Damn.
Well, listen, all I'm saying is there's a lot of people, and listen, I own a business. I know how hard it is. I'm just going based on Rhode Island. Like, there's a lot of people.
If they told you to close down, how would you make it? To be honest, like, how do you pay your rent, pay your house rent, pay your because we were literally told to shut down, and then our landlord's like, yeah, pay the rent. Our rent was only $2,200. But imagine 3 months. You're at 6,600. You have no money coming in. How do you pay your rent at home? Because our rent at home was just as much as our rent at the salon. So we were like, how do we pay 4,400 a month with no income? And that's where people were failing, Steve. And so that, I think maybe you just didn't fully know how we were getting fucked. I mean, but you had your own business. You could get it. Imagine if they told you to shut down your supplement, and then Walmart's open and you're like, fuck y'all, man.
Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't I'm not saying it's scams. All right, maybe you're right. COVID was a bad example, but there are a lot of people like I got friends who own businesses, guys who are competitors of mine, who they literally open the business and all they do is they live through their business. And what I mean by that is they're racking up credit card bills, driving Mercedes, out every night, fucking partying, doing stupid shit. Just instead of just like, dude, my big thing
saving
is
and doing good.
You need to be prepared, even as a homeowner, not even a business owner. You have to be prepared financially for there's going to be hard times. There's going to be down
government
times.
Tyranny.
Exactly, for government tyranny. So, like, I understand it, but at the same time, it's just like look, there are some businesses that are just not meant to fucking survive. Like, if I'm fucking reading tarot cards for a living, and fucking COVID rolls around, and for 2 weeks I can't tell people, their fucking future or why. There's just certain shit that's just not meant to fucking last.
Oh, dude, I think we might get it. My realtor just contacted me. Let's see what she says.
Isn't that weird? We're both getting critical text messages during a podcast.
Yeah. I will definitely find the best location. I know where this space is. It's 2400, no in and in. I was waiting for the agent. It's on Hosman 601. She said, I just texted him and emailed. He said he'll let me know Monday. Yeah, because what we're opening, it's like some people don't want to let them in, don't want to let what we're about to do. And if you go to Interflame Ministries, guys, you can figure out what we're about to do. But it is so cool. And so we're looking for a retail location to launch it. And everybody will be able to support us and order straight from there. And you don't get it. It's nothing free. It's like we're not asking. This is the coolest thing ever. You know what? I should just say what it is. Mm-hmm. So we're building the actual center to teach people to heal from cancer, how to do it naturally, how to get the processed foods out, how to meditate, how to do things that are more holistic and down to earth. So you don't have to necessarily take the golden standard and get your chemo death therapy. So things like that. It's not just that, it's many things. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to create this donation-based center, and we're trying to do it with what we're doing. But when they got a 10-year ban on TikTok, like it kills us. So we knew we had to do something else. There goes your marketing. There goes everything. We're done. I'm like screwed on TikTok. They burned me. But what we figured out is when we established our own, essentially we established our own religion. We did. That's what we did. We learned how to do it, and we did that. And by doing that, it gives us church recognition. And also by doing that, we wrote our own books, our own Bibles, and we incorporate a lot of Christ because we believe in Christ, what he believes in, but we believe in taking action. So that's the biggest difference. So it's actually called Christos. It's called Gian Christos. That's the name of the actual religion. And we had to do it that way to get the exempt status. But the number one thing, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to take cannabis and wanted to be able to fund people who couldn't afford. And so we made it donation-based, but the cannabis is going to support them. So it's 100% goes to that. So whenever we open up this hemp store, because it's fully legal in Texas, but nobody knows. So when we open it, all the proceeds are going to go to building the center and to funding people to coming to the centers that don't have enough money so they can donate whatever they have, and the cannabis will make it up for them. That's what we're doing. So they're having a hard time finding us a location because they're everywhere right now, bro. It hit legal status and nobody knows how they did it. We figured out how they did it. And people just aren't, a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know. So that's what we're doing. And the coolest part is we don't pay taxes. They don't pay taxes because it's literally a spiritual experience. And that's what we figured out. So we're going to use that to fund everything. And that's basically what we're doing. So anybody who wants to just support what we're doing without getting it, you can go right there to Interflame Ministries and donate. But pretty soon we're going to have it launched online, and in 48 states, we could ship straight to you. So that would be your way of supporting. And then you would get to learn the spiritual experience because it has a QR code. So you can scan the QR code and it'll tell you how to use cannabis as a spiritual experience. And the second most important thing about the whole thing is to protect our brothers and sisters. So as we realized what we were doing, we pre-planned how to do it. If you become a member, you're protected under the First Amendment religious exemption because our founding documents state and explain how to use cannabis as a spiritual experience. So when you do that, what it does is it protects it under your religious freedoms. No different than a Native American is allowed to use peyote, and it's illegal, but it's protected under the First Amendment because that is their religion. So now cannabis being our founding document, how to use it, people can download their membership form, and we're having an affidavit that shows everything on how it's your First Amendment protected activity. And if you ever get arrested, you present that to your lawyer, case dismissed. So now we're protecting everyone so they don't have to go to jail for stupid ass cannabis. You should never be in jail for that. There's no purpose. There's no reason. And so now we protected it. And that's the really cool thing that's coming up that we're going to launch. And it's going to be an online store and a physical retail store. And because they censored us and forced us into this position, we created our own religion. And when y'all see what we've done, not only that, Gwen and everybody wrote books, and we call out every fake holiday there is. We show the satanic backing, where it comes from. Because people, I think my kids are like, Dad, why don't you celebrate holidays? Like, I want Christmas presents. I'm like, I don't participate in certain things. I don't.
Pagan holidays.
So we wrote the book. It's Gwen. I always think she's here. She's not even here. I think it's 88 pages of that particular book. But either way, we expose all the fake holidays, where their satanic origins come from, and what they actually would do. So now people know all the fake holidays. And there's a lot. There's holidays that are on the calendar that people don't know about, and we put them all in there. And then we created real holidays that people could celebrate. So we created something very special. And I know it sounds crazy to hear someone say, I created my own religion. But when you realize your constitutional protections and how to stand up, it is literally how else are you going to exercise your rights if you don't? So we did this to protect everybody and to create what we wanted. We wanted the center where people could come, donate, and learn. And now we're going to have the ability to fund it, not through donation only. Like, people can donate, sure, and that's awesome. But also you could just get your spiritual experience from the name of the thing is really cool. It's called Church of Chronic. That's the name. I mean, we were like, so that's the name on the retail, that's the name of the website, and that's where people are going to be able to get it from. And we did that to be able to support our ministry, the actual building. So we're going to all live there. We're going to have, it's going to have buildings where people can come, they can stay, they can learn, and it'll go from anything from cancer to, everything. Food, water. We're going to teach you. Gwen is an expert at baking, and she bakes with sourdough, everything, cookies, tortillas, you name it. They know how to. They just made naan bread yesterday, like a whole huge bucket full, bro. All organic, all like the real stuff with living. Because whenever you eat real food like that is like sourdough, it's good for your gut. It's healing, Steve. And this is what a lot of people are missing. And that's why we want to bring this back. And we're going to teach it to you. And if you don't have enough money, so what? That's why we have the cannabis to help back you up. You can come, you can donate what you have, and whatever you don't have, cannabis will back you up. And now God's gift to the world.
You're completely missing such an incredible opportunity with how you name this place. I don't want to burst your bubble. You should have called it the Church of Koresh and opened it in Waco, Texas. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh my God. You know the story behind them? I have a folder for them.
It's a missed
opportunity. I have
opportunity.
a folder for them because, dude, that's so terrible. The government killed those people. I watched a video one time of a federal agent.
Oh yeah, they absolutely killed those people.
And no, he shot his other agents. One agent shoots his other agents to start the gunfight. And that's just how they roll. People don't know what a false flag is. There's one right there. Homeboy shoots his own people. I don't talk about certain. I should.
No, you definitely should. You should make your own strain of weed called the Jim Jones Kool-Aid, and then just sell that to the masses. Oh my gosh,
that one's terrible too. I know who all these people are. He's the one that got everybody to drink the Kool-Aid, right?
Killed 900 people. Hit
900.
I thought it was like somewhere. I thought it was the number.
I don't remember the number either. If people don't know, it was one occultist guy that convinced people to drink poison. They all died together. If nobody knows who that guy is. And then David Koresh was a compound, and he just had, they killed like 90 children or something. They killed a bunch of kids.
Yeah, burned them alive.
They burned them alive. And, they said, like, I don't see how the federal government could lie to us so blatantly and say, oh, it's for their protection to burn them down. But, they drove a like, I don't know, like a ram or a battering ram tank thing through the wall. They burned it down, and the kids died underground getting burned. There's a lot like that, and it's not just okay. Did you ever see the one that happened? Your best interest. What's the other one, Steve? Where it was like a melanated family, and they were like against the government too, in a way, because the Koreshes were too. They were a religion. Theirs was they would kind of say they were cultish, but they seemed very peaceful. They did have a lot of guns though, but still they weren't using them. They're just protecting each other. And they believed, I believe they believed in Christ. But there was also a melanated family, and the fucking government, I have the video. I saved them together. And I think they were somewhere by you, bro. They dropped a fucking bomb from a police helicopter in the U.S. and blew the building up and killed a bunch of the family. And they didn't show that many people. Have you ever heard of that one? I'm going to have to send it to you. Never seen it.
Please send it to me. I need to see this.
I will. Bro, I have the video of the bomb going off. And I have the video of the people talking about it. And I saved them in the same category. So I have like Waco and the other name. It's the state. I think it was in New Jersey, bro. It's somewhere over there. I could be wrong. But the whole house blows up on the top. And they killed a bunch of people. The government.
If you're going to blow something up in Jersey, you could start with Atlantic City. Well, I mean, if you're going to end the situation, that's one way to do it.
How long is your wife going? How much time do we got? We're at 2 hours. I know we've been going hard, telling all kinds of stuff.
I know. Actually, we should probably wrap up because she was texting me. She's at her mother's right now. She said, let me know when you're done.
I think people's attention spans, 2 hours is a long time, so.
I know, but we are pretty fucking interesting people.
Yeah.
I find us very interesting. Like, if I was a girl, I would do both of us.
Yeah.
So, just...
That's terrible.
All right, look.
Yeah, I never know what's going to come out of your mouth, but...
No, but that's how I like it. I like the shock value. I like getting you to laugh out loud.
Yeah.
It's a point of pride for me.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we end it with that then? Seeing as how my wife does have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work tomorrow.
Okay.
So with that concludes episode 10. And I'm glad you brought up all the good things you guys are working on because that was kind of how I wanted to wrap up the show anyway. So this worked out perfect.
That's cool.
And obviously, I'll go through and edit the phone call with me at the credit card company. I don't think anybody gives a shit.
I was talking anyways. I was just trying to talk. And then
it's so fucking annoying.
I think it's cool. I mean, check it out. If it sucks, take it out. If you like it and you see how we're talking,
I got to watch.
Whatever works.
I'm going to edit this and put it up tomorrow because she's working all day. So I'm probably just going to sit here and edit this and get this show out tomorrow instead of Tuesday.
Cool.
Might as well because my week, I'm heading into my busy season. My weeks have been garbage lately. All right. So listen, everyone, thank you so much for watching, for listening, for all the support, the calls, the emails. Please keep it up. Kenny, what was the website you're working on again? Is it up now or no?
Yeah, it's up right now. It's called innerflameministries.com. You can go check it out.
The
phone, if you do it on your phone, don't do it on your phone because there's still like a lot of pages that aren't finished. If you go on your laptop, it's complete. Everything's perfect. So just so you know right now, on your phone, some pages might be jacked up. And Gwen absolutely doesn't want you to see that because she takes a lot of pride in her work. So go on your laptop. Have some respect.
So FYI, everyone do it from your phone, then email the shit out of Gwen. Tell her how bad it looks.
Don't. She's like, no, Gwen's a perfectionist. And when you see what she did with that website, she's like a little genius. I don't even know what to call it. She's super smart.
No, she's the opposite of us. Good for her.
Yeah. It is what it is. We just have to accept it and move on, Steve.
we are the voices and the talent. Ashley and Gwen are the two that actually keep things running.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
we're just the loud mouths that talk a bunch of shit, and they're the ones that they're really doing the work, and we're taking the credit. Yeah,
I got to get a pair of those glasses so we could do a whole episode with those glasses on.
Dude, they work. I wear them at night.
One of those. I got to get one of those red, white, and blue hats too. All I have is the black one. I need that. I need that multicolored hat to go with my red and blue t-shirts. So I'm gonna go order one of those.
All right, that's the one I wear. I have a bunch. If you look, I keep like.
I know. I see them in the background. I don't feel like fucking rearranging my office for the show. Like it's just because we work in here all day. I hate having these closet doors behind me, but goddamn, I don't feel like.
No, it's kind of like you coming out of the closet.
Yeah, but I'm staying in there as long as I can. Besides, nobody wants me out of the closet. I should do is I should set up my green screen. I think that's what I'll do. I'll set up the green screen back here and just do the SNR logo.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's what I have a whole.
You can see my green screen right there.
I can see it in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. It's just in the corner.
Yeah, I should set mine up and do the logo behind us. But all right. Listen, folks. Have a great weekend. Have a blessed weekend. We will see you next week. Kenny, thank you so much for everything.
Thank
everyone.
This has been the SNR Podcast, where freedom for the mind, body, and soul takes center stage. Our goal is to break down the system and expose the truth, and to give you tools to heal, like meditation and breath work. And at the center of it all, we're having a blast. On behalf of Kenny, Steve, Ashley, and Gwendolyn, we thank you so much for coming over, and we hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But learn how to find us over on Linktree at State Nationals Rock. See you next time on the SNR Podcast.